time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have Bryant Falconer as our co-host in the studio today. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Man, all things considering, I would say we're doing real good.
Tell the truth about it.
I mean, the thing about it is everybody knows that you're supposed to be self-quarantining, and I've done a pretty good job of that. I know you have. And we are self-quarantined today in the Cigar Talk studio.
Tell the truth.
We've got cigars, we've got coffee, we've got bourbon, we've got scotch.
What else could we ask for?
Right. I mean, I would like to say that if you are in a position where you're not able to enjoy some of the luxuries that we have come accustomed to, that our thoughts and prayers are out with you guys. That being said, I also want to say thank you to everyone who is staying home and doing their part.
That's the best part about it. I mean, just paying attention. It's not about you. It's about others.
Right. I keep seeing this message going around where this guy says in this little Twitter or whatever, he says, if you were sick back in December or January and you had a cough and they didn't call it the flu and you got over it, you're fine. And so everybody's blowing this out of proportion. And I'm like, that person doesn't get it.
No, and that's my mindset about a lot of being in the medical field for as long as I was. You understand certain things and the mindsets, as you want to say, that are out there that are saying that this is a conspiracy and all this other craziness, man, that is causing more harm than it would any good. Let that stuff go, man. I don't believe this is a conspiracy, but I do believe this is a learning experience, because we're going to learn a lot from this. We're going to learn a heck of a lot from this, because it's been generations since the world has went through a pandemic on this level.
Oh, absolutely.
Generations. So, it's not like you said earlier, it's not like it's 1918 anymore, where they still went out and paraded and passed on that virus even worse. Now we understand everything about certain things. You understand the transmission. You understand certain things that need to be done. And as we said a couple of weeks ago, even further than that, the easiest thing you can do is just wash your hands. And now they ask you to sit down in the house and just wait it out.
Well, and the big thing is, when I went into the office yesterday, one of the employees that I haven't seen in a long time, because that employee doesn't work in my specific area, but she used to.
Okay.
Well, she's a hugger, and she walks in the room and it's like starts walking to me, and I'm like, whoa, back up, get away from me. No, but I was like, hey, in this time, I'm just going to say hello.
Yeah.
And I'm a hugger too,
mm-hmm.
but at that time I'm like, no. You know what? Just because it's common sense.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? It's not anything other than that.
And I'm not saying anything about you. I'm not. It's just that I want to protect myself. I want to protect my family, because I have to come back home.
Right.
And I don't want to bring anything or introduce anything into my environment with my loved ones that I shouldn't bring home. And you hugging me, yeah, I may not react to it, but it's with me, and I get home and I'm going to love my wife, I'm going to love my kids, and now I've passed it on to them, and now I'm really going to be mad.
Well, and the other thing that I think that a lot of people don't understand is, they say that this virus is most deadly to 70 and up. But here's the thing. Well, here's the thing, even if that's true. Let's look at this. If you get it and what are you, 52, 53?
Yep, 52.
Okay, so you're 52. You may not die from it, but let's just say it makes you sick enough that you need to go to the hospital.
Tell the truth.
Now you're in a hospital bed that could be used for
someone else.
For a guy that has COPD.
Yes.
For a guy that
someone else
has a heart condition.
Come on.
And that's what we're really trying to protect against is the overuse of hospitals for something that doesn't have to happen.
When all you need to do is just sit down.
Right.
Just sit down.
So all that to be said, I'm thankful that we're able to hang out and smoke cigars.
Oh, most definitely.
And even though we are in the shed, we're still 6 feet apart.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And have been the entire time.
Right. So, I like hanging out with you.
Yeah, but bruh.
Yeah,
nah,
there's a limitation.
tell the truth.
So anyway, let's talk about what we're smoking today.
Definitely.
We're way behind. Usually we start out with that. I'm smoking my go-to, the Medallia
Yes, sir.
Corona Extra 6x46.
Go-to.
Yeah, my go-to. This is probably one of my favorite cigars just because it never lets me down. It's that quality cigar every time. And so that's what I'm smoking. And I'm drinking some fantastic coffee from the leaf, the Costa Rican.
Yes, sir.
Dude,
Yes,
that
sir.
has,
sir.
I used to be all over the Sumatra, and I still love the Sumatra. But right now, in this stage of my quarantine, this Costa Rican is
hitting the
blowing
spot.
me away.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah, it really
I hear
is.
you.
So go ahead, tell us what you're smoking over there.
Blue line cigar, bro. And I'm drinking some.
You're smoking one of those.
Hey, no. Yes, I am, and I'm loving it, man. It's a great smoke for you. That wine down.
Let me ask you this one question. Where'd you get that cigar?
You.
That's right. So
A gift.
I'm not just knocking it. I'm teasing the guy who owns that line because he thinks I'm mad at him. So I'm not.
Yeah, that was a conversation I had. I was like, I said, man, you got to do a lot to piss Rob off.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I have not seen that level yet, and I've seen people go to certain. I'm like, woo, and then he just sits back and he comes back with something else and walks off.
Yeah.
And laughs at him.
So
I'm like,
let me explain a little bit though.
Go ahead
So
with it.
this guy, what's his name?
oh,
Mo Cigars. Give me some Mo. Anyway, Mo has been like breaking my balls on Instagram. And so he thinks that he's pissing me off with my responses because that's just how I am.
yes.
And so he's like, "Hey man, I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you." And then I just go silent.
Because that's you.
Right.
And see, people that don't know you, they will take that, as, okay, maybe I've crossed the line.
Right.
And you haven't.
And-
That's all I got to say. You haven't.
Well, and the funny thing is, Bryant even told the guy, he was like, as long as you don't talk about his wife or his kids, you're not crossing the line. And what did I say? I said, if it's funny, I don't even care if you talk about my wife and kids. Funny's funny. So anyway,
but
Mo,
it's a good stick, man. And it's a great stick, and this Costa Rican is good. But Mo, don't worry about it, man. He's good. He good, man. He's all right.
yeah, Mo, we love you, brother.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
anyway, tell us a little bit about that line, though. He does the blue line, which part of the money goes towards first responders.
Yes, it does. And that's the biggest thing I love about it, because when I talked to him the first time, he's like, man, he said, I can't remember the percentage of his of any cigar sold. They donate to that charity. And he said, because he's a cop. You see what I'm saying? He's a cop. He's a frontline guy. He's a first responder. And we understand a certain thing. And we know that people look at us differently, but I'm still going to go out there and do whatever I have to do to make sure that you're safe, because the service part to me was the biggest part of being a cop.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To serve. And you go out there daily putting your life on the line for people that you don't know. And it doesn't matter, because you come back the next day. And we was talking one time, I said, man, it was a time where I worked for 36 days, 12 hours a day, straight, as a cop. Straight. He's like, what? I said, because I needed it. I had to do it. We were short. The people don't care who's out there. They just want to know somebody's out there.
Right.
They didn't care who it was. And sometimes they're like, man, we just saw you. We see you every day. Well, yeah, I'm here. That gives them that ability to say, okay, somebody's out there looking out for us. And that's just my mentality about cops, firemen,
servicemen and women,
anybody, nurses, especially with what's going on now, nurses and doctors and CNAs, man, dude, every day they go to work knowing that this thing is around them.
Absolutely.
They still come back to work.
Absolutely.
And they take care of you. So,
well, and I would give a hats off to these guys too. I was talking with my brother earlier today, and he is a UPS driver. And I sent him a message. I was like, dude, you don't know what you're doing for the American people right now. Day in and day out, you're out there delivering packages. And sometimes because people are stuck at home, man, that's the only time they get something.
Yes.
You know
Or they see somebody else.
Right.
It lets them know that the world is still going. It's still turning, man. It's still
Yeah.
turning. No matter what the media or what somebody tells you, the world is still turning. There's still people out here doing what they need to do, doing what they have to do, doing what they want to do to make sure that you get what you get. So it's a hats off to everybody, man. To everybody.
I think we're going to see some resilience come about over the next 6 weeks to a few months, because who knows what is really going to happen here. I mean, we may be done with this in 3 weeks. We may be done with this in 18 months. And so I think that you're really going to see some resilience. And what I mean by that is people are going to start thinking outside the box. People are going to start making changes, because it's going to bring about a behavior that we haven't had to do before. You know what I mean? When you're stuck at home every day, or, you're limited, let's just say that, you're going to start finding things to do that you normally wouldn't do. And some of that may be, I see a lot of opportunity for entrepreneurs, because there's certain things that you would never do before because you didn't have to.
But now there's an opportunity for it.
Right.
And like I said, I'm in the process of hiring someone now. And my mindset is I need people that think outside the box. I need somebody that can look at a problem, look at a solution and say, okay, that may not work, but there's this, and this. Because an open mind is able to understand and grasp those things. And they can see opportunity where somebody else is like, oh, no, this is all we can do. No.
Right. Dude, trust me, I know that mentality. It's like, this is all we could do. No, that's not. No,
it's not.
If I can think of a solution, you could think of a solution.
You can.
Anyway, hey, so let's talk a minute about, I was reading Half Wheel yesterday, and 14 Dominican Republic tobacco factories and farms have closed down because of the coronavirus. Yeah. So I want to say, first off, our thoughts and prayers are with all of those families that depend on those jobs. Those guys, it's not a profitable industry. People aren't getting rich by working at a tobacco farm. No. So to be out of a job means a lot to them.
Yeah, because they're just sustaining their families.
Right.
They're able to put food on the table and keep four walls and a roof around there and shelter around their families. And then you take that ability away. People, it hits harder. It hits you to the point where, okay, people get depressed, they get angry, and certain things go on, but we still have to understand that this isn't the end.
Well, I will also say this, though. I'm going to say that the people down in Dominican Republic, they don't have the same mindset that Americans have.
Oh, tell the truth.
You know what I mean?
Tell the truth.
And what I mean by that is Americans are spoiled rotten.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
So even though it's different down there, we still want to support those people. And to me, the biggest way that you can support those workers all the way up the food chain, including your brick and mortars, is to support your brick and mortars. And whether that's just, calling up the shop, letting them know, hey, I'd like to come by and pick up this or pick up that. With Jay down at the Leaf, when we get done today, I'm going to go by, pick up some cigars, pick up some coffee. And you want to support your brick and mortar.
You have to.
Because they've always been there for us whenever times are good.
Yes.
Now is a time that is very important that whatever extra income that you may have, you support your brick and mortar. Because, it's a viable part of our community going forward. And, I think that the brick and mortar here in Abilene will do very well.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of brick and mortars that may be right on the cusp of being able to survive normal times.
And then they're shutting the doors now. And then you have that instance of, okay, now these people can't go to a brick and mortar to get cigars, get sticks, or anything, any of the paraphernalia, nor is there any other shops around. And then we see what the legislature has done, is trying to do with online.
Right.
Now where are they?
Right.
Now where are they?
So this is a time that, pay attention, do what's smart for you and your family, but also think of others and think of the brick and mortars, because the brick and mortar is what the consumer has the opportunity to participate in. And that goes all the way back to the people planting the seeds. So think about that. Now, I want to shift gears here. Let's talk about Micallef for a minute.
Yeah.
There are sponsors. You guys know I love Micallef Cigars. They have a line of cigars that will fit every palate. They have a price point of $4 to $42.
Every day.
I mean, everybody can afford a cigar from Micallef.
Definitely.
And I also wanted to mention that I don't know if you've seen this yet, but they're doing the Micallef Madness online. So,
I saw the bracket.
Yeah. So, the thing about it is the basketball's been canceled.
Yes, sir.
So they're wanting to do something fun for the ambassadors, for the consumers, that maybe you're bored at home and, you love the Micallef cigar line. Well, this is something fun.
Yes.
I've already done my bracket.
You have?
I have.
Yeah.
And I was
would like to see that.
I was a little disappointed, and here's the reason why.
Okay.
When I did the complete bracket all the way to the end, you know what 2 cigars I had to pick from at the end because of the way I chose?
Medallion, which one?
you knew that one was coming up. The Riad. No, I'm sorry, not the Riad, the Reserva.
Reserva.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it was like I had to make a choice between those two, and that was a tough choice. Do I go with the cigar that I would love to be smoking, or do I go with the cigar that I smoke almost every day?
Here it is. Do I go with the cigar that I love to be smoking, or do I go with the cigar I love smoking every day?
Right. That was my dilemma.
Still love in there, but
Do you know which way I went? Which way you think I went?
the Reserva.
Boom. Wow, you know me. You know me. You know what? That was a hard choice.
I can believe it. I can truly believe it.
I was like, man.
The Medallion is a great smoke.
It is.
It's a great smoke. But that Reserva,
Oh, it's a whole different level. It's a whole different level. And, I can't smoke those every day.
No. But the point is,
But if I had the choice,
last day,
right, I can only smoke one cigar. Which one am I going to pick?
Reserva.
Right.
Reserva.
So I was torn, but I did go with the Reserva. So anyway, let me know after you do the bracket. I'm interested to see what your final 2 are.
Yeah, first of all, and then I want to see if you can guess the one I'm going to pick.
Yeah, well, you can only give me the last 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I can't pick your whole bracket.
Yeah, I know.
But it was really a cool idea. I want to say Sam came up with that, but if that's not the case, I apologize because maybe Dan or Amanda came up with it. I don't remember. But anyway, those guys are doing a great job, and we appreciate that they're coming up with things for us to do in this time of boredom.
That's the love that Micallef has for their constituents, man. They love us, man. They do. They'll do anything they can to take care of us. I'm sitting there like the other day, some guy, was he in Florida? He was somewhere and he was asked, he said, okay, I got my medallion, my coin. I got my certificate. Now I need to find a brick and mortar. And he sent it out there. And what Dan said was, where are you?
Right.
Okay, here's the person there. I'll get in contact with him.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking.
He's doing the legwork for the guy.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Man, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Taking care of your people.
So, and I also want to tell everybody, we have a special guest coming up later in the show. We have Crystal, which is the newest rep for AJ Fernandez. Yes. She was with Rocky Patel for 13 years, and now she's with AJ. I think it's a perfect fit. But what was surprising, and you guys are going to want to listen to this, is she is self-quarantined in Vegas. That's where she lives. And she actually has the coronavirus.
Yeah, you told me. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But you told me about when she looked out on the street.
Oh, she said Vegas is a ghost town.
It's a ghost town, man.
Yeah. And, and think about that town depends on tourism.
Yes.
And so they're hurting. Man. So, we'll talk with her in a little bit and get her story. And, she's an incredible lady. She's a great cigar rep. She has a lot of knowledge. And I think that being with AJ Fernandez is just the perfect fit. Yeah. I'm really excited.
AJ's not playing either, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not playing, man. They coming after it.
Dude, I mean, I don't want to ruin any of the interviews, so I won't talk about that anymore. But definitely listen to the interview with Crystal. We're big fans of AJ, so make sure you check that out. Anyway, we want to talk a little bit about football. Because this is the time that,
Free agency,
you're stuck
baby.
home, and you're going to look at stuff.
Yes.
So right off the bat, number one on this list is Dak Prescott. He has not signed a new contract, but he is franchise tagged. And I believe the franchise tag pays $29 million, which is not a bad payday. I mean, if you said, Rob, we're not giving you the $36 million, but we're going to give you $29 million, and then at the end of that year, you would be able to be another free agent, or we can franchise tag you again, but next time it'll be like $34 million. I'm not going to be complaining.
And then it comes down to you after that, because now we've given you an opportunity to show us that you deserve what you're asking for.
I honestly think that he has proved time and time again, the dude hasn't missed a game for injury. Last year, he was 2 yards shy of Tony Romo's record.
Yeah.
And so I think that he's proved himself. Okay. I think that what hasn't proved itself is the Dallas Cowboys organization, leadership, and coaching staff.
Almost
now,
definitely.
we have a new coaching staff, and I'm excited to see what McCarthy can do.
We know McCarthy's track record. We do. We know what he can do when he's allowed to be.
He has a ring.
He's just like, that's just like, it's the same thing as bringing, when y'all brought Tuna over. We knew what Tuna's, pedigree was.
Right.
We knew what it was.
Right.
But the problem was,
we all know the problem. It's Jerry Jones.
So
we get that. But we'll see if McCarthy can break out of that.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it does.
And you know what? Track record is not good. I mean, the last Cowboy coach to win a Super Bowl was Barry Switzer, which has no business wearing that ring.
And here's the thing about that.
Ever.
He didn't even coach that year.
No.
It was all about that team.
Absolutely.
The team that the hair.
You know what? Oh,
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
The team that he put together. And here's the thing that I heard. Even though Switzer was the coach, they were still doing everything that Jimmy Johnson had taught them.
Everybody knows that.
They did everything. So,
but here's my thing. I'm going to interrupt you.
I got you.
Here's the thing. If there's anyone listening to this show that thinks Barry Switzer had anything to do with winning the Super Bowl, I'd like you to send me an email.
So
I don't think there'll be an email.
Truly, that can't be.
I mean, Barry Switzer is the only head NFL football coach to ever be arrested at the airport for carrying a pistola through TSA.
Now, there have been some players, but he's the only coach.
Hey, that's the
mindset.
No, I was going to say that's the contribution of Barry Switzer. Anyway, that's enough. Well, you know what? Let's touch on the 49ers because that's your team. What are they doing? Have they done anything?
Yeah, they did say they showed up that receiving core.
Who'd they get?
We kept Debo.
Okay, What about Sanders?
Sanders is still an if.
He's not going to sign.
I don't believe
y'all can't afford it.
We can afford him because at first I was mad when they got rid of Buckner. I was, but when you look at the business part of it, that was a smart decision. First of all, now we got 2 first-round picks. We already had the 31st pick because we went to the Super Bowl. Now we got the number 13 pick also.
How'd y'all do in that game?
How the Cowboys do.
Hey, the Cowboys were losers just like the 49ers.
We played a little
There's
bit
only
longer.
one. There's only one winner.
That's true.
But anyway, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm the Cowboy fan that never gets – I get a little excited during free agency. I get a little excited for the draft, and then my expectations are very low. I never think that we're going to make the playoffs.
He's not a Kool-Aid drinker.
No, I don't drink the Kool-Aid, and it just, if you've been around for 25 years – then you can't get excited.
That's what they say, those millennials, there's no reason for you to be a Cowboys fan.
Dude, I met someone in person that was a Cowboy fan that was 30 years old. And I was like, I don't even know how you can be a fan. And he was like, I was 5, I remember. And I was like, you know what? hats off.
Yeah.
You do remember. I said, if you're 25 or younger, I don't know how you can be a
And see,
Cowboy
that's where
fan.
one of my sons is. He's he just turned 25, and he's like, it blew my mind that he told me he was a Cowboys fan because he never told me that. And I was like, what? But Dad, I was like, what happened in the last Super Bowl game? He just looked at me. I said, thank you. But I bet you can tell me what happened in the last 49 Super Bowl, and that was before this year. He's like, well, yeah, they turned the lights out on you. I said, thank you. We went. But what? He's here you go. I said, okay, I'll leave it on.
I mean, you do have to give credit to a team that makes it to the Super Bowl.
I'm surrounded by Cowboy fans. Like one of my friends this year, he was like, man, I just hope New England doesn't make it. And he said, you guys are there. And he said, I hope y'all don't make it. I was like, why? He said, because then y'all will get the 6th ring before we do. And I was like, that's the only reason you don't want the 49ers to win it? Because we'll get 6 rings before you?
Exactly.
Said, come on.
No, thank you.
Come on. So what would happen if it was us and New England in there and he just shut up and walked off?
You know what? I would still be pulling for New England.
Oh, you got to be
even over the 49ers.
You got to be kidding me.
I mean, dude, you go back to the 90s, the real Super Bowl was between the Cowboys and the 49ers. So
that was in the NFC Championships.
Yeah, that was the Super Bowl every year because otherwise, who's going to beat the crap out of the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
That's what it came down to in the early 90s. So anyway, let's move on from football.
Yeah.
And, I want to talk a minute about, everybody's, stuck at home, so there's a lot of binge watching going on.
Yeah.
I myself stayed up late last night watching this show on Apple TV called McMillions. Have you heard of it?
Is that the one about the McDonald's and
the Monopoly?
Yeah.
So, did you know that?
Yeah, I heard about it.
I did not know that.
Copping, where was it?
Oh, no. I'm only in episode 2. I don't want you to ruin anything for me. But I did not know that during the 90s, all of the big prizes were a scam.
Yeah.
Not by McDonald's, by a firm that was handling the Monopoly game.
Yep.
But I never knew that. Yep. But all the $25,000 winners and up were all a scam. Yeah. Illegal ring of criminals. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found out years later.
Well, they really didn't even start investigating it until 2000. Yep. The FBI actually
got word.
Well, it's funny because the only reason the FBI was going to toss it out, they didn't really care because they just thought it was a rumor.
Yep.
But there was a new young agent that was bored out of his gourd, and he was like, I want to check this out. Yeah. So he started checking on things. The next thing you know, man, it turned into a huge investigation.
Yeah. He started finding out a lot of things.
And I didn't realize that it was, and I haven't gotten too deep into the show, so I don't know the details, but I do know the mafia was involved. Oh, yes. It's like, holy crap. Yep. If there's illegal money to be made, anywhere, the mafia is in touch.
Somewhere. Somehow, some way.
Well, hey, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with Crystal from AJ Fernandez, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for hanging through the break. We have a special guest. She was with Rocky Patel for 13 years. She's been in the cigar industry for 15 years, and she recently joined the AJ Fernandez team. We have Crystal with us this evening. How are you tonight, Crystal?
I am great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Just want to say congratulations on your new gig. Super excited that you've joined the AJ team. AJ is like when I think of cigar industry, I think of AJ as being like one big family. So I think you joined a really good team. Tell us a little bit about your history and how you got into the cigar industry.
13 years ago when I would talk about this all the time, that I was looking for another product. I've been into drugs, into alcohol, and now tobacco. So I've sold all of your vices. And I put out my resume. There was about 400 people that applied for the position, and they pulled mine because of the wine background. Had a lot of the same talking notes and selling notes, being bold, flavors, same culture, same type of clientele. So that was kind of how I got started with it all.
So you were an expert in drugs. I'm guessing you mean pharmaceuticals.
I am.
Okay, good. And then you were also in the wine industry?
Yes, I was. Yep.
So, I mean, the wine industry itself is very similar to the cigar industry, and that especially when you get into the high-end premium wines, just like premium cigars. Does that kind of sound like why people think that you'd be great in cigars as well?
Yeah, it was the same kind of language, talking notes when you sell. But then also I talk about this in a lot of my events is in the wine industry, we expect it to be very different each year, and that's what it's called vintage. So you have your soils and your climate and Mother Nature and everything going on to make your grapes different and the flavors different. And some years are good, some years aren't so good. And we have all of the different ratings because of that in Wine Spectator. However, then we have the cigars that are expected to be exactly the same every year. You know, even though they have the same things going on, the soils and the Mother Nature, everything that's, you know, the different leaves and the different primings of the plants and strengths that year and everything else. But we have the master blenders to make them like AJ, to make them exactly the same every year. And I think that was always the biggest aha moment in when I switched over and how that all works.
Yeah, that's a really interesting aspect because, like you said, with wines, people think of different years as being good years and other years being so-so. But with cigars, the expectation is that the cigar is the same every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a big difference. And I mean, it's pretty amazing that blenders can continue to make cigars have that same flavor profile year after year, regardless of the weather, the climate, and, you know, just the plants themselves. So that's a very interesting point. So let me ask you this. Yeah. How did you get into cigars? I mean, when was your first cigar?
My first cigar was actually when I got the job. I knew absolutely nothing about cigars. It's a cute story. I was coaching cheerleading, and one of the moms of the little girls, she was a rep for General Cigar. Oh, wow. And I asked her, I said, do you like your job? Because I'm thinking about interviewing and for this job. And she said, I love my job. In fact, the guy that you're going to interview with was my old boss at General, and he's just moved over to Rocky, and that's when, and he wants to start a sales force. So I was his first rep that he hired.
Oh, wow.
13 years ago.
And so what was your first cigar? Do you remember?
Oh, I totally do. And I was about to quit. It was the ITC 10. It was a full body, and I have never, ever actually said this word in our industry, harsh, but it was to me so strong, and it was originally going to be the decade, which good thing it didn't end up being because we don't make it anymore, and it's I think online and everything else. But the decade obviously ended up being fabulous. But yeah, so that was my first cigar. The thing about too, not knowing cigars, being a female in this industry was not the easiest feat because it's a boys club, straight out a boys club. And, you know, now there's more females into it and they're very much into cigars and they're doing an excellent job. But at first they wanted nothing to do with me. So I actually had to learn the cigars so much better than probably other male reps where they like to go in and sit around and have a smoke and talk about things. I actually had to prove my way into the industry. But then in events, I believe that's why I shine a little bit more because I have such a 101 understanding of cigars that I explain it but I sort of layman terms. And people learn each time they sit and talk with me about it. So I think that was a big piece of the success of my 13 years in the business.
Yeah, when you talk about coming on board selling cigars 13 years ago, it definitely was the boys club back then. I mean, we've seen a big evolution over the last, 5 to 7 years, but 13 years ago, it really was just almost strictly men.
Yeah, it's an evolution in all sorts of generations, changes and everything. You've seen differences, and it's been awesome to see, we say it's the great equalizer when somebody sits in a circle in the lounge or, they're sitting around somebody. It doesn't matter where they're from or what educational background or what income level or race or religion or anything that we want to talk about. It's the great equalizer. You're just sitting there having a great smoke, talking about it. You're nice and calm and relaxed and just enjoying your day. It's just all positive.
Yeah.
So
and I got to say that really kind of makes you one of the pioneers for women as a cigar sales rep, because you probably one of the longest tenured female cigar reps in the business still today.
Yeah, pretty close. I know a few of them that have been, in, and obviously we miss our Jill Hoffman. She had been in for way longer than me, and she was an incredible broker. But yeah, there's a couple that started about the same time as me, but not many.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us about how you came about to join the AJ Fernandez team. I know you left Rocky Patel. You've been there for 13 years. So I know your phone really started ringing, blowing up, because you have all this knowledge, you have all these relationships. And I mean, really, that's what it boils down to, is the relationships in this industry. And so out of all the phone calls you got, how did you say, you know what, I'm going to go to work for AJ?
I did. It was a big ego crush with the Rocky ordeal, just because of territory. It was just a territory thing. And so when I did start researching, getting a lot of calls, getting calls from manufacturers, other reps telling me about open positions, Cigar Aficionados, some of the guys from there called me and said, okay, you're going to be great. Just choose, wisely. And even some of the manufacturers, that they wanted me to broker. And I had that decision of being a broker or being in-house. And I had a really good friend of one of the manufacturers say, Crystal, we would love to have you on board, but I really want you to be successful. So do your research and look around and let us know if you want to be with us or not. And I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
But I did. I feel like I did do my research, and I think that AJ, it's an incredible family so far. They've all been super welcoming. But I think that, as everyone knows, he has had his hands in so many cigars. He is such an incredible cigar maker, but he has a lot of growth potential. And that's why I feel like I did 13 years ago. There was such a growth potential with Rocky building his empire. I think that that's what I have with AJ. There's so much growth in his own line and getting representation out there to my new territory, Arizona, and then my previous territories in the Midwest, where, yeah, they're excited to see me, but they're also excited to have this cigar that they all know about, they all love about them, and they just want more of it.
Yeah, and you got to think that AJ's blended for a lot of different companies, and you got to think that he's always been known as a great blender, but now he's focusing on his own cigar line. So to me, it's just my opinion, but you went and you blended these cigars for other people and you did a great job. But now that you are doing them for your own cigar line and you have your name on them, they're just that much better.
Right. And he has the tobacco. He owns the land. I mean, if he, owned a retail piece, then he would be true vertically integrated. And because there's not a lot of cigar manufacturers out there that actually own their land. So owning your land and having your own tobacco, plus being able to get everybody else's because you're friends with them or you've worked with them. I mean, he has such a grandiose pot to grab from. So it's pretty amazing. I think now that he wants to do this, people are going to be thrilled. They're already, every time I say, oh, I picked AJ Fernandez. Oh my God, I just love AJ Fernandez.
Right. Yeah, because he has that kind of reputation. And I mean, people get excited when they hear his name.
They do. And, I was so focused on trying to be one, loyal person. And now it's just like, wow, everything's super excited about it. I love it. It does. It made me it gave me another spark in this industry and excitement too.
Well, that's awesome.
Hear that and be with it.
So when are you planning on getting started? Well, let's back up just a minute. I hear you coughing. Let's tell everybody that you are personally an expert when it comes to the coronavirus.
I am personally an expert, yes.
Because she actually has
a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have the coronavirus at this moment.
Well, yes, we're getting back my test again to see what they feel like is I'm on the decline. So being a healthy person, I knew that I could fight it. I was fearful of giving it to somebody else. So I went today for a test again. And when it comes back negative, then I can, honestly and feel very good about going to an event and saying, hey, I had it and I conquered it. And I don't have it anymore, so you can hang around me all you want. So I can feel like I'm not going to give it to anybody, and I'm not going to get it.
That's awesome.
It's been, it's been fun, let me tell you, but it doesn't feel like the flu. Everybody says, oh, you look great. I'm like, I don't know what, or you don't look like you have corona. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that's supposed to look like, but it does not feel or look like the flu for sure. So
let me ask you this, like when you go down to get tested, I mean, like you go into the hospital or is it like a drive-through? How are they doing the test?
Well, so that's what's been difficult is that you can't just walk in and say, give me the test like you do at the CVS for the flu. You have to get one of your doctors to say, that you need the test, and they have to say that you need the test because you've been around somebody that has corona, or you have to have the full-on symptoms. And what are those symptoms? I mean, it's not the easiest thing to go get tested, and because everybody's like, well, when people are sick, oh, you should go get tested, oh, you should go get tested, but you can't just walk in yet. They started saying that there was going to be some drive-throughs and that type of thing, but we don't have them here yet. I don't know if other places have possibly gotten them in yet. But
and you're in Vegas.
Hurts.
The test
I'm
hurts?
in Vegas. The test hurts like a mother after a
What's so painful about it?
I think they prod, up your nose, and I think she hit my brain.
Oh, wow.
It hurts so bad.
So with all the closing down of getting people together, I'm guessing that Vegas is pretty much like a ghost town.
It is a ghost town. We have, we thrive, our businesses thrive on, and our city thrives on tourists. So if nobody is flying in, then there's no one here. And then, if you don't want to be in, or they say you can't be 50 people or more, then of course you're not going to have the clubs open and the different restaurants and the casinos, and then the dealers, they're face to face, and there's so much contact in Vegas that they have basically closed it.
Wow. So how long have you lived in Vegas?
6 years.
And have you ever seen it like this before?
No. We had October 1 with the shooting, and it was super quiet like this. Everybody was in, just kind of mourning, I guess is the word more for it. But that's the only time really you see it look like this before. Oh, when it sprinkles.
When it sprinkles.
Nobody really knows what to do with rain around here either.
I got you. So what's your first order of business with AJ once you're over the corona?
Well, then everybody I want to go see. So my territory is large, and I did do some business in my newest territory, which is Arizona. I am moving to Scottsdale here in the next week or so. So I'm going to be living there and have all this territory. But then my newest part of business is I'm going to go to the Midwest, into Kansas City, and then do that area and get some events on the calendar and some more events. I do have some already set, and then go from there. And hopefully we can get some more of the AJ brand on the shelves and get it into people's hands. And They know they love AJ, but let's get them to really love his cigars, get them to taste things like the Viva La Vida and I think you said you were smoking the San Latano.
Yes.
And yeah, so get some new stuff just out the New World on people's shelves.
Yeah, and like I was telling you earlier, a good friend of mine came over the other night, and I gave him the New World Cameroon, and he fell in love with it. And he's been an AJ fan for a really long time, but he'd never had the Cameroon before. And let me tell you, he was just going on and on about it.
That's awesome. I when I've gone into the stores these last few weeks, just when I was starting, I have seen a lot of empty boxes or getting close to empty boxes of the Cameroon, because Cameroon definitely has a unique taste. People either love it or they, don't.
Well, I say they either love it or they haven't worked their way up the food chain quite yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because it is unique. It wouldn't be something that you would start somebody off with, for sure. I think you're absolutely right there. If somebody walked up and said, I'm a new cigar smoker, or, I'm just getting into it, or, I haven't had this, and this, that would not be the first one I would put into somebody's hand.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
and, I had a listener of the show send me a message, and he said, I don't normally spend $20 and more for a cigar. And because if I don't enjoy it, and I was thinking, for a new cigar smoker, I remember whenever I smoked my first Padron 1926, and I had no business smoking a 1926 at that point because I hadn't worked my palate up to enjoy that. You know what I mean? And so my first one.
I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah, so the first one I was like, it wasn't that good. And then when I tried it again, like a year later, I was like, wow, that was really good. So, you kind of have to take that journey through your cigar smoking to get to the point to where you can enjoy certain cigars. And I think the Cameroon's one of them.
Right. There's the uniqueness of that, or, there's the nuances of different cigars, the complexity of certain cigars. Some will smoke just the beginning and they don't get into that sweet spot. They don't even understand what that is going to taste like or feel like. It's like my mom just smoked peace porter. It's like the sweetest, right? And so, to get her to the Cabernet was like years. It's like when somebody just starts drinking a wine, it all tastes the same.
Right.
Same thing with a cigar. It just sort of tastes the same. So you don't also want them to smoke something super strong with a lot of Ligero in it, being, so spicy or so strong that they don't want to smoke. We want people to start off learning and understanding, tasting, and like you said, you grow to understand and taste your, getting your palate ready for it. So it's true. And Cameroon is one of them. And you were talking about a $20 cigar. We don't need to do that. That's the other piece that I've really loved about this new, not new for me, AJ Fernandez. The price and the value of the cigars are amazing.
Oh, great value.
Such a good cigar for such a great price. And, from what I've learned when I first started with them is he's giving you a price because of what the cigar is, not because it's named this or we find that this is rare. However it is, he just is giving you a good cigar and this is what it costs. This is what we made it for, and so that's what your price is. Yeah.
You asked me if I'd had the last call, and it's a great cigar, and I want to say those are like $450 or $475.
Well, so it also depends too on tax. So I can't just say that across the board, but yeah.
In Texas, where cigars are not very expensive, we are living in the land of milk and honey in Texas when it comes to cigars, and we're very fortunate and we are very thankful. We have a good friend that just moved back to California, and for what he has to pay for cigars in California is just crazy.
Yes, true. So it is, though. Let's just say that it's relative to the other cigars lower. It's going to be on the low end pricing, but not a low end cigar. That was the cigar that you couldn't get unless you went to the factory.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Call. That was the story on that one. Yep, it's not online, and it was only a cigar that you could actually get if you went there. So now it's in our portfolio to be able to put on the shelf.
Yeah, well, I think it's a great cigar, especially at that price point that it is. But also, I mean, like the San Latano Dominicano, I think that's a great price point for that level of cigar. So, I mean, AJ is making cigars that people really enjoy, and it's a great value. So, I mean, you're knocking a home run there. So let me ask you this. Yeah. What have you thought so far about the AJ family? Not just AJ, but like your counterparts here in the state.
So welcoming. I have gotten all of the reps have reached out to me to welcome me into the family. The VP of sales, they're awesome. Everybody in corporate office has been just so willing to work with me and help me. And I mean, I've heard only good things about the reps, the in-house reps that we have. And actually, I have to say, one of the brokers, Tim Wong in California, he was one of the ones that, helped me get the job. So it's really been amazing, feeling like a really close family. And then you said not AJ, but AJ did write me a really nice letter, and he tried to do it in English, apologizing for his English. That was super cute, saying it's an honor for you to be in our family. So I thought that was really great.
That's awesome. I mean, AJ writing you a personal message, that tells you that you made the right decision.
I thought so. It was very sweet. I said, wait, an honor? I'm honored. Are you kidding?
Right. So let me ask you about this character that works for AJ. He goes by the name of Frankie.
Oh, yeah. He is the director of sales and marketing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Frankie to come on the show.
Oh, you should.
I think he would be a great guest. I know he's super busy, or he's really just scared. I don't know which one it is yet, but we're going to keep pestering him until we get him on the show.
You'll have to ask him about his family, who he really is. He has a cigar, real family in the family. He comes from the Toronto. Yeah,
I did not know that.
There's a little piece that you can, I believe I have that right. I could have that wrong, because I would be shocked if I had that wrong. But there is one. I believe that's what I was told.
Well, he's doing a great job on social media. I follow everything he does, and I see the pictures. I know he's super busy, and so hopefully one day we'll have him on the show as well. So
I sure would love it.
So anyway, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show and talking to us and letting us know your story and what you have planned with AJ. We wish you much success. And if there's anything that we can ever do for you, feel free to reach out at any time.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, and congratulations on the success of your show.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing what you do, and we'll have you back sometime.
Great. I'll have some stories to tell.
Hey, we love hearing stories behind the scenes.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Crystal. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Crystal. We really appreciate her taking the time, especially knowing that she's sick. Coming on the show, talking about her transition from Rocky Patel to AJ Fernandez. We're super excited to see what she's going to do with AJ. I think it's a match made in heaven. But anyway, let's get on. As long as we're talking about AJ, let's get on to the AJ giveaway.
Yes.
You know, we're big fans of AJ Fernandez cigars. Man, I have been all over the Enclave. Dude, the Dominicano.
Yeah.
That cigar is lighting it up for me. I'm telling you. I
can see that.
Dude, you know what?
That taste profile.
I had never smoked that until like 2 months ago. I had smoked like the New World, the Last Call, the New World. I've smoked several different ones, but the Enclave was a new cigar for me. Mm-hmm. And to see that AJ is coming on strong with his own line, I'm excited.
Most definitely.
Because I don't know what they have in store, but I know it's going to be good if AJ's behind it.
Yeah, and especially if they keep going the route that they're going.
Yeah.
You know, those taste profiles, man, it's like that roller coaster you talk about, brother. They taking you on a ride. And when you get through, you're like, wow.
Oh,
AJ?
And you know what I'm excited about?
What's that?
Is I was talking to Jade down at the Leaf, and I'm not going to say it's 100%, but I'm going to say it's 99.5%. that we're going to start carrying the Viva La Vida.
Ooh.
And you know I love that
Me too,
cigar.
me too, me
I
too.
think AJ knocked it out of the park
Me
with that
too,
cigar.
man. Yes.
Billy up there with Artisanal Tobacco. You know, I feel like we've been on a journey with those guys because we got to like interview him when it first got going. I talked to him pretty regularly, so I can't wait. And you know, he's doing a 6x60 box press. And you know, I was
you right at home.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, let's get to the AJ giveaway this
Yes,
week.
sir.
This week is Kevin Lawson. So let's talk about this for a minute. Kevin, you got to contact us before Sunday. This show comes out on Monday. You have till the following Sunday at 1800 to send me an email. In the title, put AJ Winner. That's all you got to put. And then in the body of the email, put your name and your mailing address, and I'll get you sent out a 2-pack of AJ Fernandez cigars that come straight out of our personal Cigar Talk vault. And so anyway, everyone else, if you haven't registered, go by our website, click on the register button, and all you got to do is give us your name and email address, and we have a drawing every single week for a free giveaway, and that's how easy it is. I mean, if you're not in the registration, I mean, you
can't win.
Yeah, you can't win, and I mean, it takes 2 seconds.
4 favorite letters, FREE.
Right. And you know, the thing about it is, and we've said this before, but let's remind everybody, do we bombard people with emails?
No.
You give us your email address. I don't think I've sent out a email to everyone for probably 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
Because that's just not,
That's not who we are.
Yeah. I hate when companies blow up my email. And you know what's funny is I saw a meme the other day that I thought was hilarious. And it said, I am so thankful that every company that I've ever given my email address is letting me know what their coronavirus update is.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that too.
Hey, it's like, hey, Sony, I don't really care what you're doing about the coronavirus. Hey, Hewlett Packard. You know what I mean? It's like everyone who's ever had my email address for the last 20 years.
Trying to talk to me about it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, thank you for the update. You know, I know everybody wants to give us their scenario of how they're being, you know, good citizens.
Conscious, yeah.
But I don't need it. You know,
I'm doing what I need to do. So you just do you and I do me, man.
Exactly.
Bruh.
So, hey, and while we're talking about it, you know, I couldn't think of a better time also to talk about Medify, the air purification system. You got to check them out. That's what our air purification system is in the studio, and they use medical grade H13 filters, which is the only filter that purifies the air from cigarette, cigar smoke, hookah smoke, whatever you're smoking. I don't want to know everything you're smoking.
Whatever, yeah. That's what
I don't want to know whatever you're
Whatever.
smoking. Because I would imagine that the dispensaries are doing quite well during this time of quarantine.
You walk by a certain house, like, whoa.
Yeah. That's you need to shut your doors.
Man, you need to just shut everything.
So-
No cracks coming out of your house.
But anyway, if you go by our website, the fourth link down is for air purification. There's a coupon code Medify Smoker you can use, get 10% off. They have a huge selection of purifiers for all different size rooms. They even have some that hook up to your Google Dot or your Amazon Echo. No, it's not Amazon Echo. The Amazon Alexa.
Yes, sir.
And now she's going to come on and want to know what I want.
Did.
Yep,
It
I
turned
see her.
blue.
So anyway, guys, hey, next week, and we're going to release this episode early, so you'll be getting it on Saturday.
Yes.
We're planning on doing another episode. Probably it'll be released on Monday or Tuesday. We've got a very special guest, Robert from Southern Draw Cigars, is going to come on. And, you know, I had a great interview with him. And what I love about Southern Draw is I knew they made premium cigars, but I didn't know their story. And after talking with them, I have a whole new level of respect for Southern Draw Cigars. So you're not going to want to miss that interview next week. And I guess that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Is there anything else that you had on your mind?
I have nothing, bro. Hey, just stay safe, people.
Stay safe out there. And if you're binge watching anything really good,
let me know.
Send me an email so I can check it out, because I am horrible about finding stuff to watch. Usually my wife is in charge with that, but I would like some guy shows too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I did have one thing. Randy Baker out of Lubbock, which does a great job of updating people on police issues, first responder issues, and weather issues out of West Texas, posted a thing saying that now that everyone's quarantined, his wife thinks she's in charge. And I responded, yeah, my wife is a self-appointed warden. So anyway, enjoy the time that you get to spend with your spouse. Make it special and try not to kill each other. So, guys, until next week, I hope you keep smoking and stay safe and
keep smoking.